Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to be doing another tier list. This time, I went on TierMaker, searched up NHL, and one of the first things that came up were the best players in the NHL. So I figured let's do it. It's a little bit outdated. As you can see, we have Voracek on here, no Kirill Kaprizov or anything like that, Eric Stahl. But I figured most of the players still active and still good, so let's work on doing this tier maker. Obviously, I'm going to have a couple different opinions than other people. I don't watch every other team. I'm a Sens fan, so I don't even see one Sens player on there because none of our players are elite. So that's all right there. But let's get right into this tier maker. The first player we have is Alexander Barkov. And for now, Barkov, unreal, one of the best two-way players in the game. I'm going to throw him at the elite level. So we're going to keep him there. Franchise, I'm not thinking I'm going to have too many players. I don't want to overrate a lot of guys, but I'm going to quickly just go through the list and then probably make a couple changes to who I think should be there. I have an idea of where I want to throw everyone, but got to get the faces in the positions here. So Alexander Ovechkin, how do you not put this guy in franchise? The greatest goal scorer the NHL has ever seen. He is a thing of beauty, an absolute legend. So I'm definitely going to throw him in the elite. And honestly, I'm only seeing him and Crosby here as some OGs of the game with Jonathan Toews as well. So we're going to throw him in the potential franchise category for now. Anzai Kopitar, another really good two-way forward. And I'm going to organize it by who I think's the best. So if I throw Kopitar here, which I think he's an elite player, I think Barkov's better, so I'll keep Barkov at the top. Another good player up next, we have Artemi Paneron, and he is definitely an elite player. I don't think he's better than Barkov, but he's definitely, I would probably take him over Anzai Kopitar for a number of reasons, but age is definitely one of those reasons. We're starting off with a bunch of absolute studs here. Next up, we have the current greatest goal scorer in the NHL, and that's Austin Matthews. He's better than Ovechkin. Ovechkin is the greatest goal scorer of all time, but right now, Austin Matthews on pace for, 64 goals this year. He's a hero for Toronto. That's kind of where I'm going to put it. He's a hero for Toronto, definitely a franchise player. The next one up, we got Brad Marchant, and people who hate him probably want to throw him down there, but let's be honest here. Suspensions and all aside, Brad Marchant is one of the best players in the NHL. He's better than good. He's better than great. I would throw him in the elite category. I think Brad Marchant is a tremendous player. Really, really good. So definitely, I have a list on the left, so I'm just kind of looking over to see where I had him. I had him in elite in my little mock-up here, but I do think that the elites are going pretty quick. Let's go down to the bottom here. Blake Wheeler. A couple years ago, Blake Wheeler, I would have thrown great. He was really good, but his age, I think, unfortunately, is just trying to catch up to him. I think he's a really good player still, but compared to the rest of the players on this list, I'm going to throw Blake Wheeler in average for now. So I might change it up in the future, or maybe I'll throw him in the good. But for now, I'm going to keep Blake Wheeler at the average position. Let's choose a random one here. Mark Stone. So where do we want to throw Mark Stone? He's definitely better than average. I wouldn't consider him elite like these players above Barkov, Panarin, Brad Marchant, and Anzai Kopitar. But I think he fits in perfectly in that great level. He's definitely better than good. So I'm going to go great. One of the best two-way forwards in the league. Captain the Vegas Golden Knights, Ottawa Senators legend. So we're going to throw him into the great section. Next up, we have Braden Point. Kind of underrated from when you think Stamkos, you think Nikita Kucherov, you think Victor Hedman, Vasilevsky. But people don't understand that Braden Point is one of their best players, and he is just always putting up points, playing the position well, 2-time Stanley Cup champion now. And in my opinion, he's an elite player. Not better than Barkov, Panarin, and Marchant. I think highly of all three of those players, but I would put him right up there. I think he's having a good year this year. And then next up, we got Brock Besser on the list. And I don't watch too many Vancouver games, but I think he's having an off year this year. I think he's better than Blake Wheeler, but I'm going to keep him in this average section for now. Of course, he's good. He's above average, but I'm comparing it to the rest of the field. I'm not comparing him to the whole NHL. He's not an average NHL. He's definitely above average, but comparing it to this field here of players, I'm going to keep him in average for now. Another one of the ones where I might look back into and take a look. But next up, we have Clayton Keller. And honestly, everyone's going to say average. But if you put Clayton Keller on a good team, he would be so much better. He's just wasting away in Arizona. But I'm going to keep him in the good category. I think he's better than Besser and Blake Wheeler right now. And I think if you put him on a better team, he might even be in that great category. But that's all I got for Clayton Keller. Connor McDavid, my favorite player, second favorite player in the NHL. My number one, Jason Spezza, the GOAT, he's my favorite. But Connor McDavid, I mean, without question, franchise, the best player in the NHL in my opinion. I know people are like, oh, Matthews plays better defense, Dreissitel plays better defense, but his sheer offensive talent, speed, and just knowledge of the game it's incredible. He is a once in a lifetime talent. He's just unreal. You can't say enough about Connor McDavid. Next up, we have David Posternak, and he's one of those. Do they have? Yes, they have Marchant. Let's just do it all right now. This first line, where's Marchant? This first line, in my opinion, all elite. I mean, for the longest time, they were the best first line in the NHL. The Calgary Flames tandem of a trio of Lindholm to Chuck and Johnny Gaudreau have been really good today. Or not today, this season to take it over. But I think Marchand's the best of the three. Then I think Pasternak and then Patrice Bergeron. Obviously, Bergeron's a little bit older, but I think Point may be better than Pasternak and Patrice Bergeron at the moment. So next up on the list, we got Dylan Larkin, and I'm going to throw him under good right away. He's definitely better than average. I would say he's better than Besser. I think he's better than Clayton Keller too. He's also not playing on the greatest team, and he's still having a really good year. So I'm going to throw him in good for now, and we might revisit that. Next up is Elias Peterson, the Vancouver legend. He's not having the greatest year right now. That's just because Vancouver's not having the greatest year. But I would still stick him in the good category. Probably behind Keller and Larkin for now. Is that Eric Stahl? Eric Stahl, I mean, at this point, I don't even think he's in the NHL. So I'm just gonna throw him in the average. He's not in the NHL anymore. He was on Team Canada, the Olympic roster. But yeah, Eric Stahl, what a beauty. Next up, we got Geno Malkin. And Geno Malkin's a hard one to rate because in his prime, when he was playing and not getting injured, I mean, this guy was like borderline franchise, high elite at least, right there at the front of the elite or franchise. But I think for now, he's getting older, a lot of injuries. I'm going to throw him in the great category. I think you can make an argument for being in the elite category, but just for now, we haven't seen too much from him, so we're going to throw him into the great category, and that leads us to our next one of Genny Kuznetsov, and I think really highly Kuzi. I think Kuzi's a great guy. He's got the bird celebration and all that, but I'm going to throw him in the good category. I think he's better than Pedersen. I'm trying not to look at it at an age-wise, but I think he might even be better. I'll keep him in front of Pedersen, but I think Clayton Keller might be better. Even we'll keep it like that. I think Pedersen. We'll keep Pedersen in the front. See, if you give Pedersen the line mates that Kuzi normally gets to play with, TJ Sochi, Alexander Ovechkin from time to time, I'm sure he'll be a little bit better. But that's where I'm going to throw in Evgeny Kuznetsov. Moving on, let's do Jack Eichel. So Jack Eichel, I'm torn here. Franchise or elite? Franchise or elite? I think he has what it takes to be a franchise player, and I think right now he's got to fit into the new system with the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And in Buffalo, I mean, he's definitely a franchise player. Everything went through Jack Eichel, so I'm gonna throw him. I'm gonna throw him in elite for now. I think him and Barkov you can probably throw up the franchise, but I don't want to have the franchise too cluttered. These guys are too high elites. They're borderline franchise in my opinion. But that we're gonna keep Eichel in second place on the elite tier for now. Barkov with the first slot still. And let's choose a random one here. And who is this? Patrick Laine. So Laine, I'm gonna throw great. Laine is great. I mean, I think we can see him develop into an elite. He's been really good as of late, but I don't want to go too in depth on it. But I kind of want to throw him in elite. He's got an elite shot, so I mean, does that make him elite? I think I'm going to throw him at the end of elite. I think he's better than Kopitar. Okay, do I want... Maybe Kopitar needs to be dropped down. Kopitar is great, but I kind of feel like Stone's better than Kopitar. And even Malkin might be better than Kopitar. I'm going to keep Kopitar. I'm going to move Kopitar down, and I'm going to put Laine at the end of elite here, and then moving on to Philip Forsberg. I mean, just compared to the rest of the field, I think we're going to move on to go average here. I do think he's better than Brock Besser, so he'll lead there. Jamie Benn, another one of those situations like Blake Wheeler. He used to be an absolute beast. He's not the player he used to be. He's now just kind of a big physical guy, not too much finish behind him. But I'm going to put him just in front of Eric Stahl. Johnny Tavares, a team in the World Juniors franchise. This guy's an absolute legend in the World Juniors. But in real life, I'm kind of torn. Do I want to throw him in elite or great? And I think Laine's better than him at this point in his career. I mean, he's still very good, but Laine's shot makes him so hard to play against. I'm going to throw Tavares in the great category just above Anzai Kopitar. Johnny Hockey, I mean, I was going to put in great, but the season he's having right now, it's almost hard to ignore and not throw him in elite. So I will throw him in elite. I'll put him above Laine just because, and you know what, I'll put him right there. Above Pasta, above Bergeron. I mean, he's just been having a great year. It's kind of what it is. I think he's on pace for 110 points, something along those lines. Hat-trick the other night, so I mean, a really good player there. Next up, we have Jonathan Huberto, one of the most underrated players in the entire NHL, and I'm going to throw him in franchise. I think he's a franchise player. It's kind of like 1A, 1B between him and Barkov, but I kind of think I'd give the edge to Huberto. He's currently, as of today, leading the NHL in points, so I mean, that's not something that you can just do from being an elite player or an average player. That's something that it takes a lot of hard work and dedication and skill. So definitely up there. Next up, we have Taze. I haven't watched too many Chicago games, but I know Taze. He's an elite winner, great player, but I think at this point in his career, he's kind of just at the point where he's good. I don't watch too much. I might get that wrong. So sorry about that in advance if you're a Chicago fan. Next up, Leon Dreissitel. I think he's the third best player in the NHL right now. Number one, Mcdavid. Number two, Matthews. And then number three, Leon Dreissitel. Just a pure goal scorer, hard worker, big body. Can go retrieve the pucks. An amazing one-timer. Nice quick snapshot. Him and McDavid working together on power play is a thing of beauty. Next up, we got Logan Couture. And I think I'm going to throw Logan Couture at the top of average. I mean, nothing too much to say about him. He's probably better than the rest of the field there. I don't think he's good enough to be considered good in this group, but we're going to keep him there. Mark Scheifele is another one of those guys where I've always thought so highly of. I think Mark Scheifele was a great player, great skater. I mean, killed Jake Evans in the playoffs, but I'm not going to throw him in average. I like him so much. I mean, I'm a big fan of Scheifele. I'd throw him in great. But I think it's okay to have him at the top of the good category, potentially the bottom of the great category. The next one up here is Matt Barzal, and Matt Barzal is a tough one because Barzal, if he played on a team that had support, would probably be above a point per game, like 85 to 95 points easily. But he just plays on a team that the offensive system isn't the greatest. There's not a lot of offensive pieces there, and he's kind of that one-man wrecking machine. But if he played on a better team, I think I'd throw him in elite. But for what he does for the Islanders and his raw skill and talent, I think I just got to throw him in the great here. I'll throw him at the end. I think Malkin and actually we'll throw him ahead of Malkin. Just Malkin, Malkin's kind of got that legacy is the reason why he's in a great. I think he's only played 10 or 11 games this year anyways. Zach Rowinski, another one of those guys, a really good defenseman. And I think I want to throw Rowinski in great. He shuts it down, plays really well defensively. And I mean, remember he took a slap shot to the face? Just kind of throw that out there. Max Domi, definitely at the bottom. He's probably better than Ben nowadays. We'll keep him at the bottom though. I don't even think he's on Montreal. What team is he on now? I can't remember. Columbus maybe? No, he came from Columbus. I can't remember what team he's on anymore. Arizona? I think it's Arizona. Yeah, he's he doesn't belong to be on this list. No offense to Max Domi. Mika Zibanejad. He's borderline great and good in my opinion. I mean, I've watched him. He's got beautiful hands and just really good overall. Good skater, great passer, great shooter. But I'm going to throw him at the top of good for now. We'll keep him there. Rantanen. Okay, so Rantanen is, I mean, a great playmaker. Trying to think here. I'm trying to think. Where do I want to throw Mikko Rantanen? I think I want to put him in the elite category. I mean, over 100 points, I believe, 1 year. I think he's better than Laine. Probably better than Bergeron and Pasternak at this point. I'd probably even take him over Johnny Hawk's having a good year, so we'll leave him right there. Pasternak's a goal scorer. I'm kind of torn. Do I want to put him in front of Pasternak or behind? Let's just keep the Boston boys together here. And then, speaking of a great passer, Mitch Marner having an incredible season. Mitch Marner is going ahead of everyone there. He's, I think, on pace for 110 points as well. I mean, he's struggled in the playoffs. Let's be real here. Last year was a tough playoff year for him, but it looks like he's bounced back and he's having a great year here playing with Austin Matthews and Michael Bunting. So definitely an elite player in my opinion. And then next up, Nathan McKinnon. Okay, so Nathan McKinnon, do I think he's better than Dreissitel? I don't know. I just watched so many Edmonton games that like I'm an Edmonton fan now, you know, like so I think I'll always have these guys. I'm gonna put him in the franchise potential, of course. He is definitely better than almost everyone on this list except for 3 guys in my opinion. So definitely gonna throw him in franchise. I think that's a no-brainer. Nick Baxtrom used to be an elite playmaker. I mean, he's still a really good playmaker, but I'm gonna give him just I don't think he's better than Zibanejad or Scheifele or even Larkin. I'll throw him there. Nick Backstrom, I mean, he is underrated in my opinion, but if this was a couple years ago, I'm thinking like great/elite. But in this year, in this time, I'm going to go with a good player, a very above average good player. Nico Hischier next up. So Nico Hischier can go right behind there. So Nico Hischier, a little bit ahead of Jamie Benn. Probably not even, to be honest. Nico Hischier, I mean, he hasn't been terrible, but he hasn't grown to be anything outrageous. And then the next one up we have is Nikita Kucherov. Kucherov just gets points. He just finds a way to get points, and it's hard to argue with someone with as many points as him. I want to throw him at the top of elite just for his point-getting ability, but I'm going to actually throw him in franchise. So I'm going to put him... I'm going to put him just behind Huberto. So, like, Huberto's really good. I think Kucherov and Huberto on the same level. Patrick Kane, I mean, we're going high elite there. He's not the player he used to be, but he's still absolutely unbelievable. Who is this? Sean Couturier. We're going to put on the top of average here. Sebastian Ajo. Okay, Sebastian Ajo, a lot of players might not know. A lot of people might not know, but Ajo is an absolute beast. I mean, every time I watch him play, he finds a way. It's like he's kind of like Peterson, but where's Peterson? Peterson, he's kind of like Peterson, but just better. And I think Peterson can grow into a player like this, but I do think he's an elite player. And I'll put him just behind, split up those Boston Bruins there, and I'll put him in the elite category. Sidney Crosby, what are we talking about? He is franchise potential GOAT. I mean, Team Canada hero, Captain Canada, gold medal goal. His championships, the Stanley Cup rings, everything. I mean, Sidney Crosby will always be in that franchise potential. And you know what? Actually, we'll keep going. So Voracek, I mean, average at best nowadays, a little bit better than Blake Wheeler, I would say. Claude Giroux, I would say good. Kind of flying through a couple of these players, but Claude Giroux, let's go good above. And I think Pettersson's better than what I'm giving him credit for. I think Pettersson is better than what I'm giving him credit for. Is he better than Claude Giroux? Probably. I don't think so, but I feel like he's better than what I'm giving him credit for. I gotta give him a couple spots here. Taylor Hall. Out of this group, he's better than all these players, but I don't think he's too special. He's now a second liner with the Boston Bruins. He's found a nice home. But when he was on New Jersey, he was like elite player. You know, he won the Hart Trophy. So you can't argue that. Tyler Seguin's really fallen off. I'll throw him right there in the middle of the average section. Victor Arvidsson, he's better than these two at least. He's probably better than Jamie Benn too at this point. Vladimir Tarasenko. I'm very tempted to throw him in elite. I'm very tempted to throw him in elite, but he's just missed so much time with injuries that it's kind of like, is he still that good? So I'm gonna throw him in great. I think he's a really good player still. I'm gonna throw him in great, and I'm gonna just put him in front of Geno Malkin. Next up, we got William Nylander. I don't think he's better than Zibby. I don't think he's better than Scheifele. I don't think he's better than Larkin. I think right there it makes sense for William Nylander. I think that would be a great value for him. And then finally, Steven Stamkos. I mean, he's having a redemption season here. He is having a redemption season, and this is our last player here. I'm throwing Steven Stamkos. He's better than Zibby. He's better than Malkin. Probably better than Tarasenko. Better. Probably better. I mean, he might be. I'm going to throw him here for now. But you know what? We're adding one more category. Let's add one more category here. Oh, whoops. Can we add row above? Add row. Oh, I added 2. I'm a rookie here. Delete row. And now this is the OGs. All right? The OGs / GOATs. Like, these guys are already established. And I think we got to add this one in. So, Sidney Crosby, top of that bill. Okay? Who else do we need? We need Alexander Ovechkin in there. And where is Jonathan Toews? Johnny Toews can get in there as well. And yeah. Anyone else here there should be in that? Yeah, the OGs and GOATs. Like, these guys will forever be, I mean, part of our childhood. If you were a Chicago Blackhawks fans, I mean, you can even throw Patrick Kane in there, an OG, a GOAT. I mean, he was a top 2-3 player in the NHL at one point. Him, Crosby, Ovechkin. These were the players that were leading the way, leading the next generation. But that is my list here. Obviously, some players are weird, like Eric Stahl, Max Domi, Nico Hischier, Victor Arvidsson. Probably wouldn't include those 4, like something like even Shabbat there and Jack Hughes instead. Is that Jack Hughes? No, that's not Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes there in Montreal, maybe Jeff Petrie, Shea Weber, Cole Caulfield, Minnesota, Kirill Kaprizov. Kaprizov would be right here in elite. You know, Kaprizov would be an elite for sure. I don't think franchise yet. He's got to play a couple more games. But that's my list. Let me know what you guys think of the tier list. And we're obviously going to have a couple different opinions. Definitely some players that I probably messed up. Try to do this all in one take, nice and quick and easy. But that's going to do it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know who you think your franchise players are. Did I mess up on franchise? That's the most important part. The rest are all whatever. So, as always, have a great day. Peace out.